On today's GTA 5 o'clock, GTA 5's next-gen price accidentally revealed. The GTA Online birthday patch 1.17, we've got the hidden features. Plus finally, a last team standing update and some more tidbits about next-gen GTA 5. Hello, I'm Dan Dawkins for GTA 5 o'clock, and I'm joined today by my new co-host, Ian Wilson, Mr. Trophy, a guy with so many trophies, even DJ Laszlo wears his hats.
That is correct. Hello, Dan.
Hello there. Sadly, no James Jarvis today, who's on another holiday. 2 weeks of holidays. Why do we employ this guy? Technically, we don't even employ him. But don't worry, we've got loads of great GTA chat today, including a big update on patch 1.17, which is sort of semi-officially the birthday update.
Indeed.
There's a couple of hidden things within that. We've also got new updates on the last team standing update. That's an awful lot of updates. Plus, the exciting bit, a little tease about next-gen GTA at the end of the show. Short episode today, so not long to wait. Ian, tell me about patch 1.17.
Patch, right, so that came out sort of towards the end of last week. As you said, it was the 1 year anniversary of GTA Online launching. A few new features have come into that. From when you're actually loading the game up from the boot screen, you've now got an option to jump straight into a random job. So you don't actually have to go through the whole connecting to the online and getting into matchmaking. Just jump straight in if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
At the end of the jobs now, on the voting screen, the server's been set up to actually merge groups together. So if you pick a certain job and people in another lobby pick the same job, it'll merge you together so you get better teams, better groups of people, rather than just be maybe 1 or 2 people in a match. So that helps with the matchmaking, although there are options to turn that off if you'd rather just stick with the people that you're playing with.
Yep.
You've also got a new on-call option on your phone, so if you fancy a bit of arm wrestling or golf or tennis or whatever, who doesn't like that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, virtual arm wrestling. What more fun could there be?
So you can set yourself as on-call for one of those activities, and if someone else jumps into it as well, it'll match you up, and you sort of saves waiting around for somebody else to turn up and challenge you to a match on there. And then there's also on your little mini map now, if somebody's in a helicopter or plane or something like that, it'll actually show a little corresponding helicopter or plane icon on that player's blip, so you can actually tell if they're flying around or on the ground, which kind of helps if you're trying to track somebody down.
So what's the vibe on the patch? Are people digging it?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot. I mean, there's far more stuff than we can go into here in the background of that patch. They've done loads of little tweaks and bug fixes and exploits and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it seems to have gone down quite well.
It seems like they're sort of laying the ground for the next gen online new push.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of 1.17 are the hidden features. Now we've got to say thanks to Lard on the GTA forums for this, who's unearthed some interesting factoids, Ian.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what there is?
Yeah, let's have a look. So we've got an update on tank turrets no longer violently snap to match your camera angle. So I think that's when you first enter them. So I think that was maybe just a sort of a glitch with the tanks that's been sorted out there. Sounds like that was a bit odd, and obviously that they fixed. Vehicles that you collect during missions have bulletproof tyres, which I guess is useful if it's a sort of that specific vehicle that you need to have. You're not going to get your tyres shot out, and that's not going to stop you from making a delivery, getting to where you need to go with that, so that's useful. You can now online auto-aim on the cops that are in helicopters, apparently. I think that was a problem before, that you couldn't lock onto them to take them out if you had a police helicopter chasing you down. So that's quite useful to get them off your tail. Something about the main rotors and tail rotors on helicopters no longer break. I guess that's just, I don't know if that's if you crash or get shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really an issue for a great pilot like me, but
exactly.
Pilots that might have proved an issue.
Yes, indeed. Now, I think probably the most interesting secret that was discovered in there was that all the 3 characters in single player now have the space docker in their vehicle garages. So when you go into your garage and you pick the special vehicle, and you've got access to all the special vehicles that have unlocked with the various patches and things like that, the space docker is now an option in there. So anyone, as long as you've got all the spaceship parts and actually done that collection mission within the single player, you can get the space docker from your garage. And I think the issue in the past has been if you completed that mission and you got the sort of space docker funky spaceship car thing and didn't put it in your garage, or it got destroyed one way or another, that was gone and you can never get it back again.
Yeah, now this is where the tinfoil hats come out. Clearly, now this could just be fixing a bug that was within the game they wanted to rectify. I think probably, given that the intense speculation around the Mount Chiliad mural mystery, the apparent lack of a jetpack and/or a definite conclusion to that mural, puzzle. Now, what Rockstar hinted very heavily, as we've talked about on the show, is an expansion of the sort of the sci-fi supernatural stuff in the next gen versions. They've said themselves the game will have new Easter eggs and side missions. Now it's telling that the trailer they released has the space docker. That's quite a hidden secret item explicitly within the trailer.
Exactly, yeah.
Why would they do that if they weren't saying, attention dummies, it's something to do with the space docker? Now functionally they're unlocking another key as part of that, as in they're saying, hey, you're not going to lose it. All characters have access to it.
Yeah.
It seems to be they want you to have the space docker because maybe something important has to be done with it.
Exactly.
So, we'll see. But to me, that's quite an interesting hint. Let's see how it develops as the game draweth nearer. Now, we're going to talk about the Last Team Standing update. It's update again at the moment.
It's Update City.
Now, this is talked about in the Newswire, but there's a couple of things to talk about here, Ian. What does it bring?
Yeah, so obviously the main thing it brings is the actual Last Team Standing jobs, which is a new type of jobs to go along with captures and races and all the deathmatch stuff that's already in there. So it's basically a team deathmatch, but there's no respawning in it. So it's team versus team. Once you're out, and that's it. And obviously, as the name would suggest, the last team standing, the last team that's got any players left on it wins the round. And the matches can be set to have a certain number of rounds. So it's not just a case of you jump in, you have all your team gets taken out. That's the end of it. You can have a number of rounds to win. So it kind of at least gives you a chance. If you don't win the first round, you've got a chance to come back into it. So obviously there's sort of tactical elements to that, because if you go in like a standard deathmatch and just charge at each other guns blazing and get taken out, that's the end. So seeing a lot more sort of tactical play in that, people using cover, sneaking around, just to basically try and protect themselves.
Do you think the game suits that kind of play style? Like, do you think it works in a sort of softly way like that?
It can do, yeah. I mean, obviously a lot of the GTA Online stuff is focused on the guns blazing aspect and piling in with all crazy vehicles and explosions and all that side of things, but it kind of just adds a different element to the game. And with the various options you have for snapping to cover and sort of sticking to that and going around corners and crouching behind things, there is, you've got the sort of the ability within the game to keep yourself hidden and covered while you move around. So it's definitely something that works in the game. Obviously it's not for everyone, because it is a sort of slightly more tactical side of things, but it's there if people want to play it. So yeah, I think it's good. On top of that, as is sort of usual for these updates, you've got some new vehicles. You've got the Lampadati Ferrari GT, which is like a high-end sports car. You've got 2 new bikes. I'm going to be very careful how I say this. The Shitsu Hakuchu, which is a sports bike. Yeah. And you've also got the LCC Innovation. That's a kind of low-rider chopper, which is the kind of thing you might see the Lost MC riding around on, so that's quite cool. There's a couple of new weapons. There's a heavy shotgun that does some real damage up close, and a marksman rifle that's good for sniping people from a distance. There's more clothing, outfits. There's some new masks at the mask shop. Most interestingly, there's a couple of bulletproof helmets have been added, and when you actually buy those and equip those, it does slightly, they do say slightly, but it slightly reduces the damage you take from headshots. And given how sort of powerful headshots can be in the game, that could be potentially quite
not useful. That bulletproof then, are they really?
Yeah,
you still get
a sort of slightly bullet resistant marginally.
Yeah, if that was right, mildly bullet resistant beanie hats, that would be a far clearer demarcation for me.
They're like bullet averse helmets maybe, but only temporarily. So, which I guess is fair, because at the end of the day, if players could put a big metal helmet on that stopped them getting any headshots, that would unbalance things.
It would be like
in
cheating.
the long run. So yeah, so that's the update.
Okay, now finally we've got a bit of an update on GTA 5. Now people have kind of speculated on, will it be full price? Will you get it at a bargain price because you bought the last gen versions? I think we're calling it last gen now. Now it was interesting that Nick, the chap who joined us on the Independence Day live stream, tweeted a pic he'd taken. This is from like the Xbox store, is it?
I think so, yes.
And now he'd noted that the price was down as $59.99, which would confirm that it's a full price product. And not in itself a revelation, but would be more like a confirmation. The most interesting confirmatory thing about it is Rockstar requested he take the picture down. So like, read into that what you will. It could be that someone had jumped the gun and put the price up and they shouldn't, or it's just not something they're willing to divulge right now. Again, I don't know how they're going to play the pricing. I would firmly expect it to be full price, if I'm completely honest. I mean, it is going to be a completely reworked version of a 50-hour game spanning a phenomenal amount of distance, with a effectively a free persistent online mode.
Yeah.
So I know there's monetization within that, but you can play the core experience for free. I don't think it's outrageous to ask full price again for that 1 year on. I know some people will feel gypped, but wow, like, you've probably got some pretty good value out of GTA. If you want to continue enjoying the GTA Online experience, that's your portal to do it.
That's it.
And hey, Rockstar might announce something else.
Yeah,
some sort of
exactly.
incentive.
And obviously not forgetting as well that you do have the option to carry over your online progress from the previous version, regardless of format, across to the new gen version. So if you've bought any of the Shark cars, or you spent any of your own money within the online world, that will all carry over as well, so you're not losing out on anything there.
So let us know in the comments if you think full price is fair to be asked again. I'm sure some people will start lighting the torches and have Rockstar burnt out of the village. Now, we'd hope today to bring you the results of our unexpected events Snapmatic competition. We had some really interesting entries, but in a double irony, due to some unexpected events, we can't bring you the pictures. We will next week when James hopefully returns, should he have not been kidnapped by pagans on his holiday or whatever might happen. So yeah, really sorry we can't do that today. Can I also say a deep and profound apology for not doing the show last week. I think it's probably the first time we've never not done a show, if that's not a lot of negatives in one sentence. James was away. I have, as I've said on the show, I've changed my job, and without getting too boring, I am running out of time to do anything apart from breathe, eat and do the job, which is quite worrying. So I do hope to commit myself to GTA more in the future, but over the last few weeks it has been outrageous, and I didn't want to come on and not have anything particularly to say. So huge apologies to everyone who tuned in looking for the show last week. Do follow us on @GTAV0clock on Twitter for any updates about the show and timings. That's really worth doing, because without saying any more, it would be so cool if GTA 5 o'clock was able to see GTA on next gen and talk about it. Now, I definitely can't say we're doing that, but that would be cool.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
So, hey, if there's news, you'll hear about it on @GTAV o'clock on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GTAV o'clock. Thank you so much for listening today. Ian, thanks so much for your bon mots.
Thank you.
And wise words and great gameplay. Do like and subscribe to the channel for more great GTA coverage. And until next week, we'll see you then.